Good evening, everyone. This is the Black City Podcast coming to you live from the top of the Black City Towers. Your host, Steven, and the co host with the most, Mr. David.
Yep, we got a lot of stuff going on lately, a lot of things released this week, and really excited for our eventual journey to Peoria regionals for Pokemon. I guess everything Pokemon
Everything,
actually.
yeah, well, the stuff that we care about, TCG, but yeah, everything Pokemon. That's days away. I'm excited. We had a couple of hiccups. Our first house canceled on us.
Oh, the
uh,
Airbnb.
yeah. So we're in the Airbnb. The first place canceled on us, and that was fun having to go through that process. Literally a week away. Later found out that I think that they tried to pull a fast one on us. So hopefully, what is his name? I think his name is Marco. Hopefully Marco closes in on them and lets Lola know that we will not be doing business with you as a company any longer. So that was fun. But we did find a cool place, and we will be in Peoria very soon. So I'm excited. That's why I'm still talking about it.
I'm glad the house thing showed up and worked out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Marco would have to send Polo to fold them. But here we go.
Not the Polo Folo. That's wild. Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, but we got more in store. We're going to be talking about that, of course, and our expectations of Peoria's TCG at least formats and what decks we're going to be seeing. We're also going to be talking about the recent newest drama for Pokemon. No, I don't care about Pokerev. I'm talking about the Van Gogh incident. What people are calling the Van Gogh disaster, or as what I'm calling Van Gogh.
The fall of Amsterdam.
Fall of Amsterdam. The breaking of Amsterdam.
The first time they had more than one person visit at a time.
I don't know about that, but hey,
I would know. I live there.
Ah, yes. Well versed. I see.
We'll
Did
try.
you give me a promo?
When I got there, I realized I don't know where Amsterdam is on the map.
It's one of those situations again. We'll be having all that and more in this episode. But first, you know, we start the show kind of a cold start. We got to warm things up. So, boy, I got a story for y'all today. Not really. It's just I tried to buy a backpack off Facebook. Another Facebook Marketplace story. This one's much shorter. So yeah, I needed a backpack because obviously we're going to be in Peoria. We're going to be filming because why not? It's good content, of course, and it's a good experience for me to get used to trying to vlog. So we have some nice B-roll for you guys. A little bit more. So I was like, I need a backpack because the backpack I was going to use was not working. I walked downstairs and I looked in the mirror and I was like, no, this isn't it. This is too much. I'm not liking this look here. So I found a $10 backpack, really nice one, like fancy. If you found it in a store, it'd be $50. You still wouldn't buy it, but it had a $50 price tag, and it was allowed to be on a store shelf next to all the other $50 store bags. Um, Really nice. It was $10, so I'm like, okay, cool, I'll buy it. It's a 30-minute drive to get there, and I'm like, cool. I'll go stop at the EO local Walmart wherever I'm going. 'Cause they gotta have a Walmart, and then get some cash, break that 20, and then make my way over to the wherever the backpack is stored and make the transaction. Have a good day, right? Easy peasy. So I'm driving through traffic, right? Of course, no nothing really interesting there. Just crappy Missouri traffic. It is what it is. Get to Walmart. I'm like, okay, just gotta go buy something, and we were having burgers for dinner. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get some onions. So I get the onions and I go to checkout. I'm like, I need to go to a someone at a cash register or a cashier. I keep mixing those two up. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I need to go to a cashier so I can get out to an actual person so they can break my 20 how I want it to, because the machine's going to spit out a 20 and then be done with it. So I get up there. There's one open register with a person in front, and there are 10 people in line. So I'm like, all right, I can either go to the self checkout get a 20 and find somewhere to break it, or just buy these onions and ask to get my 20 and 10s. So I did, of course. We're sitting there, we're waiting. Everyone's got huge carts full of stuff. I'm like, why is no one using the self checkout? And I know some people need to have. There's a reason why you got to use a person at the register to get that extra, like, what if they have like a special card or you know food stamps, all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll wait. It's fine, no big deal. Get up there. I'm like, all right, I want to do cash back. Does your machine do cash back? I know 9 times out of 10 these days, Walmart does not do cash back. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, or the person operating the register doesn't know how to do it. Never fails. So I have to ask. She says, yeah, you can do that. Now, this is where I messed up. I grabbed the wrong card, and I grabbed my credit card and slided it. Was not prompted for cashback. My onions went through $1.50. Not bad. And she's like, "Oh, you didn't press the prompt." I was like, "Well, it didn't give me a prompt." She's like, "Well, I can't. You have to go to customer service to get the cashback." I was like, "No, I can just buy something else. So I'm gonna buy some gum because like gum's $1, right?" I look over, gum is $4. $4.
Yeah,
I was like, I ain't doing that.
what it used to be.
Oh, so I'm like, all right, cool. I go over to, I'm like, all right, I'll just buy a vitamin water and we'll go to the self checkout. Do that, go to self checkout, get my $20 bill. I'm like, all right, there's a bank. There's got to be a bank somewhere in the store. And sure enough, it wasn't my bank, but the the receptionist was nice enough to just break my 20. Had to process it through a machine. Couldn't just give me 2 10s and be done with it. But you got the 20. You got the 2 10s. All right, cool. Do that. Go get gas. Go to the place. And I'm looking at the bag. And the bag is not what I need. But I already had spent 2 hours driving around, you know, sitting in line in Walmart. Like, you know what? I'm just going to give the guy the $10 and just take it because I can probably use this travel bag for something else. So I can't use it for the GoPro. I'm still down a bag. So I leave. I send the picture to the guy like, here's the $10. It's on top of the mailbox. I'm putting it in the mailbox. Drop it, leave. And I'm driving home and everything. Everything's cool. Got the onions. I know I'm getting some burgers, so I'm feeling good. And then I settle down. I check my phone again, and this guy sends me a message saying, "Hey, it's like I didn't find the $10. Did you just take a picture of money, take the money in the backpack, and then leave?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute. There's no way you didn't find the $10. I dumped it in your mailbox. It didn't blow away. No bee snuck in there and took the $10 out of the mailbox or anything. Like nothing. It couldn't have been any easier to pull money out of a mailbox than that. I made it clear that like money's been dropped off. I'm leaving. I'm taking your bag. 10 minutes.
Always.
Exactly. I only that last part. But then 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, it was tucked inside of a magazine in the mailbox. Like how did that happen? It was folded in a way that it was like you got the V fold, so it's not totally folded, but like it's open. It's like how did it fall into the magazine and then sneak its way all the way in there?
I think he was a little too excited about it, and he like messed with it himself.
Now, like if that's the case, now I'm worried what's wrong with this bag. Oh man, I finally got rid of that bag for 10 measly dollars. Like man, I dropped a real deuce in that one. Like what the heck, man?
He has you trafficking large loads of illegal substances, and you don't know it.
At least I can flip it.
These are not cards.
So like he obviously I was like, oh man, sorry I didn't reply to this sooner because this was an hour after he sent the initial message. So I'm like, I know he's freaking out about these $10 because if he was that bothered by it, um, he said sorry, and then I was like, oh dude, don't even worry about it. I'm sorry that I didn't respond sooner. He's like, no, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I was like, man, this is ridiculous. I've never met this man. I haven't even seen him, by the way. This is all a porch transaction. Don't even know this man, but he's breaking down like it's gonna be cool, man. Like, thank you. In the conversation. So yeah, all that for a luxury travel bag that I will probably use probably when I go to Amsterdam.
It also didn't even fit your needs
No, not at all.
after the entire journey.
Yep. Nice bag though. It's name brand. I don't usually do that.
At least he was apologetic about it.
Yeah, I at least
I'll give him that. He could have been like, "Oh, I got it. My bad," and he could have just ended it there.
I mean, I'd rather he do that. I was thinking he could have been like, I'm gonna fucking call the cops on you, and you're. I can't believe that your kind would even, something like something
If he went like over
ridiculous.
the top, you would just have to respond content.
Clipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. No. So bag not secured, but we're gonna be looking. I want to make sure everything's good to go for Peoria. But I mentioned Amsterdam. That's what I'm working with here. So I mentioned Amsterdam. Everyone's wondering why specifically Amsterdam, bro? And what I say back to you is, were you not around this entire weekend? We watched the fall of man unfold via Twitter in a little site we like to call Pokemon Center. That's right.
Oh, man.
You know,
You know,
yeah. What?
I was reading a news article about the situation before I saw the video, and the top comment on this news site was, "It's really depressing to see a dead artist's work used by Pokemon Company, and then old men who don't even play Pokemon for profit."
Yep, it's a whole bunch of like various different parties who have no relation to each other coming together
Like,
in
because
chaos.
it's so wild, because like I know people who are like art art fanatics or like history buffs, and they're like interested in this collaboration on the other side of it, not for the Pokemon piece.
Yeah.
And if they went to this museum, they were more likely to get trampled or like lose their lives than to actually be able to like go through the exhibit, which was pretty small, by the way.
Yeah, it was right in the corner. Just real quick. So, Pokemon Company recently partnered up with the New Amsterdam Museum of Art to collaborate on a celebration for a Vincent Van Gogh images or picked paintings, which they've done in the past for some of his other works. But this year, the focus was obviously on Pikachu and Eevee, Snorlax and Munchlax. So the gray felt hat picture painting. Obviously the sunflowers painting. I can't remember the names off my head, but like the collaboration was basically, here's a bunch of product we're releasing, and to coincide with those products, you would get a promo card of Pikachu wearing a gray felt hat, promo in the likeness style of the art that that Van Gogh had painted, as a, I guess, homage, I suppose. And relation with that as well is that they would also have an exhibit, as David had mentioned, in the corner of the New Amsterdam Museum of Art, featuring, uh, Pokemon versions of some of his famous pieces. And obviously, whenever there's a free piece of cardboard on the table, people will literally slit their mama's throat to come get that. And they well, it was exactly as we expected. We had mentioned at the start of the episode it was the fall of New Amsterdam, and it probably wasn't that bad, but seeing the footage of the gift shop area being completely devastated,
40-year old man,
yeah,
no child in sight.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I guess disappointing, but like, is anyone really surprised? Like, this happens every time. This happens.
The idea of like I forgot the technical term, but like basically forcing a limit of a product to like make people feel like they have to have it
Mm-hmm.
was on full display here. And the term will come to me later, but
What, limited release?
everyone
Scarcity?
everyone wanted it. Yeah, scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, everyone wanted this thing, and for the in person stuff, some people were posting on the subreddit and Twitter talking about um, how they bought a bunch of stuff and did individual purchases of like 20 items to get 20 promo cards, and they were like bragging about it to the point where this kind of is a noticeably large amount of people in the Pokemon TCG community now. Like this isn't just a couple of freak scalpers. This is like these are people in the community. Like this is part of it now.
I think that's the oops. I think that's the crazy part about it is not the it's to me okay, so it's one thing the amount of I would even say toxicity because it really like a lot of people really wanted a card, right?
Right.
People wanted product. Even that. Like there was the some of the products were actually really cool and like it was worthwhile to get like the canvas wall arts where that would be awesome to have something like that in a house. Maybe not my I don't know. Like the Sunflora one looked really cool, so I kind of wanted it. The playmat's really cool. So to go on Twitter and be like, yeah, man, I got like 20 pieces and I'm looking to trade. It's like the majority of people you're talking to got nothing. Um,
Right.
so so it's one thing about how much that's happening, but the straight up openness of just being like, yeah, like we scalped this. This is really cool. We did that, and then like just yep. How do you feel about that? And even like in a gloating way, like, yep, I got 20 of these. That's it. I was like,
And
okay,
then little to no recourse, little to no backlash, and then people are still buying the stuff. So it's like, scalpers, please come into this community.
yep.
Is what people are saying with their actions.
It was so bad. I saw so there's a huge thread, obviously like Pokemon restocks on Twitter, where people kind of go for all this information because they're usually the only people who are paying attention 24/7 and can actually sustain a living. I guess just doing that, just to inform the people after they bought everything. Um, and I saw on there on one of the comments was um, we end up getting us as a scalper conglomerate got over 1,000 promo cards. If you can't beat the scalpers, join them with a link to their I forgot what it's called. I think it was London Labs, and it's a scalper conglomerate where they put all their bots together and they buy up all the stuff. It was a legitimate thing. Now I don't know if this is all like just for as a fun haha troll, but in the brief research I did, it was like yeah, like these things. One, these things do exist, obviously, but to post on Twitter publicly, like yeah, just join us, just be a scalper. That's the only way you're gonna get this stuff now. Like that's like really, I think that's concerning. If anything, that's the part of concern is that people are being blatantly obvious and open with it. Um, it makes it become a norm, and that's not good. That's very bad. I don't know if you know, but that's a bad thing.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like super doomer, like, oh, this is the end of the hobby, or it's like impossible to
Well, no,
um,
yeah,
be a kid and play Pokemon. But like, this issue is only it's only grown since the pandemic, and well, I didn't know we could say pandemic anymore, but there you go. There's is twice. But um, ever since then,
contentious topic.
investors have gotten into the space. It's gotten a lot worse, which is why I'm like really thankful that my main game is Digimon, and I can get anything for under $10 that I need. But
If that,
yeah, exactly. But kids nowadays aren't even like playing Digimon or even know what Digimon is. But for Pokemon, I just think about how easy it was for us as children to get product and play with it and not even have a second thought about this investing piece. But um I was showing my fiance the video, and I'm sure the video will be playing at some point during this podcast. The video of the people in the gift shop buying up all the product, and I was like, babe, what do you think about these 30 and 40-year-old men with this Pikachu with gray felt hat plush with like 50 of them in their rooms? And the children who came to the exhibit or like went online and had their parents try and get it for their birthday or something just not have access to it because they didn't have a bot set up to buy it. She was like, this whole world needs to go. Like, was her response. Like, she said that's one reason why she's not very interested in getting deeper into specifically Pokemon related stuff. Because a lot of the times we talk about it, pretty like negative now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense because even beyond just the game stuff, like the community, honestly, now has a pretty big, I'm not gonna say a dark side, but a really annoying in it for the money grubby side, because
Right.
it is gross, to kind of look at it and be like, yeah, like this isn't like genuine. I love this hobby. This is just chasing a bag, but for a children's card game, you know, or just a children's game series, even. So yeah, it's not great. It's not a good look, and I'm glad that common sense people. Well, I'm not glad because I want more people to enjoy this hobby or just this whole series in general. I think Pokemon is a idea or IP that is for everyone, and to be kind of just pushed out by the behavior of literally grown adults, it's depressing, and also to the shout out to the people like you mentioned earlier, people who just enjoy art, to watch this unfold. I'm sure you probably weren't even that. I'm sure there are those who weren't even really big fans of Pokemon collaborating with them anyway because their effort on collaboration is, pretty, not super high up, I'd say, for what they
They
could
don't
have
try a
done.
lot.
They don't really, they don't put like the most effort towards these things in the first place. But then to see what the kind of people they're bringing in as a company, it's like it's just overall like a bad look, I think, and I have to chalk that up. So I hope they're looking at that, um, as an example of what not to do. Because I mean, we've seen online now, so just let get people know the promo card was free. If you purchased anything, you got the promo card, or anything in the collection, you got a promo card for free. Those cards are now selling for like 150. I've seen some go for 200 paired up with products. I've seen stuff, I've seen the plush and the card go for $300. Like this card has like been on eBay and just shot up in value. You
You're
know,
being really generous.
what have you seen?
So I don't know if you saw the day before the exhibit opened, pre-orders
Oh yeah.
pre-orders were open for like 680 to $800
Oh
for a
man.
single card, and then after the fact, I believe 2 days ago, so like September 30th,
Hmm.
um, there were where you can see on price charting how much people paid for the card.
Yeah.
There are some people who paid like straight up $1,000 for the card.
That I'm not gonna lie, that's some shame on you moment because even the last Van Gogh promos did not sell for that much. So I don't know
Right.
what they were thinking. That those $1,000 people, sorry, like you deserve to have your money taken. That was just dumb. But no, to your point though, that is insane. That someone even still that someone even bought that or considered buying that for a free promo.
Yep. Yep, and that is the state of the hobby right now.
Yep. So guess before I get to the other part of the story, I will say that Pokemon Company did put out a press release several hours after everything sold out of Pokemon's because everything sold out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The first wave, so I didn't know this until I did some digging. The plushes went first. They went on the site before anything else, not announced. They just went on the site. They were gone in 15 minutes. So that's all gone. Then about I want to say 2 hours later, the rest of the collection stuff showed up. That was gone in 30 minutes. And there's like 10 to 20, there's like 20 different product items you could pick out of there. And I'm sure they stocked a good amount. Um, but that was all gone in 30 minutes. And during that time, the site was crashing. People had stuff in carts and it would just crash and they would lose everything. And it was a complete, it was a massacre.
It was somewhat of a disaster.
Yeah.
And to like even further to a further point, today, I don't know if you saw, Pokey Restocks tweeted out that a lot of people's orders are either being they're getting an email saying they've been either delayed or canceled
Yep.
because they either didn't have the stock for it or they have to basically um try and make up for how many purchases were made due to like crashes and other things. So it ended up just not working out. And I personally, I think the online store sold out in like less than 10 minutes because I had my Corviknight playmat in my in my cart at 11:01 because the shop opened at 11 our time, and I was clicking checkout, and then by 11:03 the checkout button was broken, and then I waited till 11:10 and the page just crashed, so I just ended up not getting it at all.
Jeez. Yeah, I only saw after the fact because unfortunately I was in a meeting. I need to be better at knowing because they usually launch their stuff at this time, I guess. But like insane. There were people who would just sit on the checkout page and not leave because they knew it was crashed. Like, how you gonna do that? How you gonna put someone in a in a psychological torment situation like that? Insane. Um, but yeah, so all this to say, Pokemon released a statement saying, "Hey, we realized that the demand was a lot." You know, they did their PR statement of like, "Yeah, we messed up." So they didn't mention releasing more product. But they did mention they're going to find ways to release more of the promos. So I don't know exactly what that means or what that entails. Is if they do another online shop thing, kind of not going to fix the issue. What they need to do is that the Peoria Regional just bring a whole 10 boxes of those and start handing them out.
I'll give you one better, which is actually worse. Tinfoil David tinfoil hat moment again. They're going to do a Pokemon 151 X Van Gogh collab, and with every ETB of 151 you buy, you get the promo.
Oof. Of course, they're with rigged odds of pulling anything, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Like you're not getting an IR or like any type of good rare. You're getting Golem EX.
you getting hollow energies
Yeah.
every pack. It's for the gamer in you. Yeah,
Exactly.
you know, I would honestly they could do anything. I really think what's gonna happen is nothing. Like
Yeah.
it's just a PR cover up because they know that like, oh, this is really bad, and I just don't know. I just feel like as an international company and seeing it's not just at this point I feel like it's not just America feeling this. Like obviously Americans we complain about everything the loudest because we take up the bulk of these social media platforms in the first because everyone else is like this is a waste of time. But I mean you can see the footage at the Amsterdam Museum. It's across the board issues that need to be addressed. Like you got to do something about these scalpers. You got to do something about these people who are looking for extra buck. Um, I think so anyway. I'm not saying like you have to, extradite them or anything, but but you got to figure out a way to make this not a good market for them.
Right.
And which brings me to my next point of a long time. I'm going to call him a scalper. I don't know him personally, but I'm in a Facebook group who was watching all this unfold. And of course, there were the people who are like, I got 8 items I'm willing to trade, or I'm willing to sell this for 200 some dollars, stuff like that. You know, our local scene is about as bad as it can get. But there is one guy who came up with a amazing take, which, you know, we kind of talked about it earlier. So it's not like a huge, like, man, how could he say this? But it is, to me, as I pull it up, something that I thought was, I'll say interesting, like an interesting angle to take. And I swear to God, if he took it down, this is going to be the worst segue of my life. Please. Okay, here we go. So this
Someone
was
said you're looking a bit foolish.
a goober I was becoming, but luckily I found it. Someone reposted. No, I'm just kidding. They left it up. All right, so I'll just read it verbatim. Obviously, I'm not dropping any names or anything, but this is someone who's been in this community for a long time. A big whale seller. Everyone knows who they are. So I came across this post on a group regarding the volatility on the Van Gogh Pikachu and buying high. In this post, people were legitimately telling the OP to go and cancel their buy because of remorse, and to me, that is shocking. I think it's important to bring some things to light from being in this industry for almost 20 plus years. From being in this industry for over 20 plus years. The market always changes. It moves up. It moves ups. Okay, just realize this is a Facebook post, so the grammar is all over the place. It moves ups and downs. It takes a ton of time and understanding to know when to buy and when to sell, and even then, we all miss the boat. What I do not accept is telling people to cancel sales and return items because they have remorse. As a buyer, you should be withheld to a standard morally knowing when you commit to an item, you commit. You don't cancel because today's price is 50% yesterday's price. You should always buy with the mindset that if worse comes to worse, it's all right. This is a collectible. Demands change. Demand changes. Prices move and anything can drop to zero. Only buy knowing you have that risk. I've had my fair share of losses and wins. I know mistakes can happen, but please own up to your actions. Do not recommend to people that canceling orders or deals is okay if money was exchanged because you have remorse. And then the screenshot is a picture of someone who purchased a copy of the Pikachu promo card with the felt hat for $152, and the person wrote, "I'm new to this eBay purchase. I thought I had got a deal until I saw the word pre-order after I won the bid." So, a couple things going on there. I will say that.
Yikes.
How did you not know? Well, one, like, how did you not know it was a pre-order? But two, why does that matter? You're still getting the promo card for winning the bid. So that part is kind of a weird thing. Like it's a screenshot that doesn't really do with the post itself, but I understand just so that guy's dumb already for thinking it wasn't a pre-order. But it's kind of just give the gist of the argument of we are in a collectibles market. So if you decide to buy something, you should, as an honor rule, own up to that purchase and hold anyway, regardless of that if the price drops or not. So we kind of talked about it earlier. Obviously, not like a super crazy take, but I think it's kind of crazy to maybe I'm interpreting this wrong, but I think it's kind of crazy to assume that if you buy something with the option to return it, you should just not ask for a refund. If you have like buyer's remorse essentially. Um, but now that you've seen the whole message though, I think that probably I don't think what your opinion about it has changed, but I'll let you kind of speak on it.
Well, I just think it's funny because one, it's like this arbitrary honor system that was made up to, and I am assuming this person is like someone who sells or flips products,
Oh yeah, big time.
but like making this rule up, one, I think it's like dumb, and to clarify by dumb, I mean there's no harm in someone asking for a refund. Like the harm would be like if the person escalated this case to like this guy scammed me or this guy ripped me off because no, you saw the asking price, you were willing to pay it, and all the information is present on the page. So choosing to buy it is completely your fault. Everything before that was like up to the seller, yes, but once you clicked pay after reading like what you were like you already knew what you're buying and like how much it was. I don't think you have the authority to escalate the problem beyond asking because at that point it has to be like a verbal agreement.
Yeah,
There's no contract or anything that's like you don't go into a store and then buy a sweater for $20 and then it goes on clearance next week and you're like, "Yo, can I get this for the clearance price?" They have the option to do that. And if some stores say that in their terms and services, they can honor that, but they don't have to.
exactly. I think that's the important thing, right? Like this transactions, like eBay is pretty loosey goosey. Like they have terms and conditions, but it basically comes down to it's between the buyer and the seller.
Exactly.
And I feel like trying to like, oh yeah, we have this eBay honor rule on like pre-order stuff like that. You have to be held accountable to that price. I'm like, well, no one's saying that. If buyer A decides to go back to seller A, he's like, hey, I actually don't want to pay for this price. I'd like a refund. Obviously it comes down to eBay's terms and services, but the seller has it's in the seller's court to be like either yes, I'll give you back your money, or no, I'm not going to give you back your money because and then the consequence of that will go on and so forth. Like it's not like oh you have to oh, you bought this for 152 and now it's $50. Oh, you have to stick with that. That's just how the market goes, bro. It's like no, not everyone is sold on this scalper or market player or investor mentality. Investor, probably a better word for this, but no one's like, not everyone's completely sold on that investor. This could have been some guy who was like, I want to get in and I want to, get the Pikachu card and, messed up. So what is inherently wrong with them even asking for a refund there? Because first of all, the idea of putting a pre-order on eBay is insane. Like you're you're already making stuff up from the get-go. Like this is not like a set in stone rule. This is a bunch of investors or scalpers or just sellers making stuff up, and people are falling for it. And then when they want to get their money back, you can't tell them they can't have their money back because they just play the market at that point. That's not how that works. Like you're towing the line on eBay, so people can quote unquote toe the line right back at you. I mean, that's how I see it. Like I think it's very stupid to even believe that. Yeah, this is just set in stone. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. This is how it works. I'm like, well, if they give him back his money, it doesn't work that way. I guess. You know.
Right, exactly. Because there definitely have to have been cases where people have gotten a refund or people have been like, "Oh yeah, I totally understand." And like that's fine. Like it's contextual and it's not like a black and white rule.
Exactly.
So this person is like grandstanding for essentially nothing for a non-issue as we call it.
I mean, yeah, a non-issue that they're defending so they can keep their marketplace, like they can keep their market, you know, that
I would never give someone a refund.
right.
I'm the most notable seller.
I've been
You're no
doing this
one.
for 20 years and
You literally have to flip Pokemon cards to be happy in life.
yep,
Trust me, you're
it,
not doing anything important.
not anything worthwhile to the rest of humanity. you
Or
know.
yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's making money, so
But
well,
clearly he's empty enough to grandstand in a Facebook investing group for Pokemon TCG.
yeah, that was interesting because I wanted to take a look real quick at the comment section because there was one guy who would usually butt heads with this dude, and
It's me.
yeah,
Nah.
it was you. Yeah, I mean, literally, like people were saying, like I want to buy pre-orders, or someone said they dropping facts. And I know they don't make any money. Um, you can cancel order if you regret it. Then don't bid on. Like, then don't bid. I'm like, what? Well, why would?
Welcome to eBay.
I'm about to say like if someone wants something at the time because the hype is there, you can't just be like, oh, just don't bid. Like humans are humans. Like we are enticed by in the moment types of things. Like we are very in the moment. So it's like, oh, everyone's getting this Pikachu card. I want this Pikachu card like really bad. And they're just like, wait a minute. Reality. Some people it takes a little bit longer to realize. Oh, I didn't pay. I need to pay my bills, or I need to, I need to get, I was going to go to this other thing this week and I forgot. Oh, like you should be able to cancel your order at that point. Like I think it's very like it's never should be set in stone because really the investor is smart. You just put it back up. Just say that the deal fell through. We're putting it back up. There's plenty of people because we've seen it. People are going to buy this anyway. Let the market ride for itself, right? That's the rules they set for themselves. You're just playing the market. So I don't see an issue. So seeing this post and seeing the reaction that it got, because it got like 22 comments, and that's pretty big on a Facebook thread where most posts get a comment of like two or three. Um, it's just been interesting to see one of the type of people that are in this group, just a varied amount of reactions to it. But I personally think this take is bad because it's very closed minded. It's only looking at it from one viewpoint and not from, I don't know, a collector.
Right.
So I don't know. It's not depressing because it's again coming from Missouri. So so I'm not like, oh well, it's just Missouri. It's as bad as it could possibly get.
Like even just thinking, like, taking a step back from this individual case, like, what do you think Pokemon Company could even do to, like, remedy a situation like this besides, like, the obvious, which I don't think they will do, like, mass producing this card and, like, giving them away at, local game stores?
That's what it takes though. You because that to me that would be the easiest solution for them. It's just to mass produce. Even mass produce by putting a price on it. If they sold this card for $5 and they make sure that everyone got one, would it have as much craziness for the secondhand market? Absolutely not.
Right.
But
Because the market's flooded with them.
yeah, exactly. But everyone would have one. Everyone who will want one has one. And what at that point again, at that point, the Pokemon Company's out of the equation at that point. They already have it. You know, it's obviously in the long run you're gonna lose these people buying tens, 20 cases of your product. But on the flip side, you got plenty of people who are coming back and buying the product in the first place. Or like you need, or I would say you don't have to mass produce everything. Like the TCG Classic, you can definitely just sell that to the scalpers because they're already going to buy it anyway. Like they see a premium, a limited quantity item, they're just going to buy it up anyway. That's on them to flip it at that point. But I think that's what Pokemon kind of needs to do. Is just that's how you weed out, or at least you know, thin the herd of these people who are taking up all this stuff because you're still gonna have scalpers no matter what. People are gonna be on Pokemon till the end of the IP, but I think there's something to be said about there's almost too many because a lot of people are just becoming investors because they see that it works. Um, so by making it harder to get into, then you have this limited amount of scalpers. Now you have, I don't know, a nice middle ground at the very least. I'm trying to see it from their perspective because obviously they're making money off the people who are buying up all this product. But
Exactly. They don't
like,
care.
yeah, but like then there's PR stuff. Like PR will eventually burn you out because no matter what happens at the end of the day, if there's no one buying the scalpers product and it's just the scalpers, you're not going to make any money. You're going to have the couple stragglers who are buying up case after case of stuff and no one to sell it to. And at that point, that they're the worst seller in the world, just buying up crap that nobody wants to buy. You know. Now, will we see that point where no one's buying Pokemon product anytime soon? Probably not. No, it's like this is the biggest IP, entertainment IP, um, the world has ever seen. So that's not gonna. But it eventually will if they stay on this track. They got to do something. It doesn't have to be today or this year, but the scalper issue, it's becoming more and more like a common word to even say. you know, and it's not a good look. It's gonna end up biting them at some point.
I mean, I guess we'll see because I don't know if Pokemon's ever had to deal with like the secondhand market ever like destroying or negatively impacting the first hand market because even like during Gen 8 block, they just restocked the stuff and then people bought up all like the Evolving Skies ETBs and stuff again. So they just kept making more money off of people anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fairly new, right? Because everything before, I would say probably everything before Gen 7 block, it was definitely low point. Like they weren't making a whole bunch of money off of this, I guess, as much as they are now.
Exactly.
So this is still new territory. We don't know how long this is gonna last, but uh, I I do honestly think, me personally, think the peak was during Gen 8. I think now we're kind of on the downturn. It's just we're seeing as it's been around long enough, people are recognizing it immediately. So um, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. But I truly do think that people are going to start recognizing that, yeah, like we can't, like I can't buy this. I'm not buying this anymore because I'm getting priced out. I'm wasting money on like $100 on a piece of cardboard. One or two for the one you want. I can understand that, but when it's every time they release a new product that you feel like you gotta have because it's the new Pikachu or the new Eevee or it's the new like Spinda, which most don't even care about that Pokemon, but you gotta have it for your collection and you have to pay $100 for it. Like it starts to get old, and you start to realize like I can't even afford this anymore because
Yeah.
I can't even have the big collection I want. So I don't know. Like maybe I'm wrong. I can't guess on this stuff, but it's a big issue. I'm trying to throw out solutions, man. A lot of people just be like, yeah, this is how it's gonna be. I'm like, man, that sucks. I don't want that.
Well, I think you will be correct if people wake up and stop trying to do this. It's not a new trend. People have been doing it forever, but this idea of doing a master collection, getting every card and every rarity in a set, or getting every card of a certain Pokemon for the rest of their existence. Like things like that are why you get crazy stuff like this happening.
Yeah.
Because people give themselves this like artificial goal in mind and feel the need to fulfill it to feel like satisfied or like good about either themselves, but when you like look back or you look over at your accomplishments like 5, 10 years from now, and you just have like a couple pieces of cardboard and an acrylic case, that's not putting food on the table. That's
Sure
not
not.
building a family. That's not like whatever typical form of success you usually look at. Like these aren't it.
Yeah.
I think it's like I said. That's why I think it's fun as a hobby. But people have made this lifestyle of investment plus collection like
Their
they're everything.
lives. Their lives.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
entire lives.
Yeah.
So
And
we'll
maybe
see.
maybe that's it too. Maybe that'll be like there'll be a relation point. At least for the younger generation to see how that's unfolding. It's like this isn't worth it. Like, can you imagine if you just got into collecting? You're like, I want to collect every Pikachu. Can you even? It would be. It's impossible. First of all, you just can't do that. Um.
Pokemon Rumble Pikachu card?
Oh my god.
Never.
Yeah, I gotta chase that down. I gotta chase the Pokemon Snap one down, which is easy. But you know, like you have to get the illustrator cards. You have to get all the first place trophy rewards one because I have Pikachu on it. You got to get every movie promo, anything, like
Illustration Pikachu.
literally anything from the early earlier pre 2000s. Like good luck, because man, like that, like yeah. But those insurmountable goals, like people are gonna eventually like just be like, it's not even possible, and then to make the new present stuff hard to get to, yeah, like people gotta know when to cut that off. But it's just not worth it. Because
And you
yeah,
already know we're getting more Gen 1 product in
yeah,
the Scarlet and Violet block. Like I'm willing to bet money on that.
yeah. I mean, we definitely are. Um, yeah, I honestly, because of how early they released 151, we're definitely still due for another Gen 1 celebration again. Man, that's
Instead of getting the awesome send off of Crown Zenith, Pokemon Legends Kanto.
Pokemon RBY.
Oh man, I can see
Yeah,
them doing that.
they do it. They really haven't tapped into the sprites yet, so get ready for that easy cash grab.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but that's kind of on the Van Gogh collection. Didn't mean to go like super doomer, but
I mean,
I'm kind of in a place where I'm slightly on the outside of this. I play more than I collect currently, so
yeah, and I honestly I was like, well, I got over it 'cause I was like, I don't even really like Pikachu like that anyway. Um, and I was really just kind of miffed I didn't get any of the Van Gogh product. Like I wanted a print, like a little tiny little card, and I couldn't get that. And I was like, I didn't need it anyway. And a lot of people have comments and just move on and then forget about it. But for those that, again, this is kind of like part of their huge part of their life. Like I can see them being frustrated. And I feel your pain. I know it sucks.
I would have given anyone my promo. I literally just wanted the playmat.
Yeah, if I got the product thing I wanted, I mean, I definitely want to keep my promo, but I give it. I don't care. I, I I'm I, I would not sell it for $100 in the first place. That's for sure. It's not worth that much money. It's not worth money.
Hence why it's a promo.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. It's whatever. So yeah, I mean, is it all bad though? No, of course we're still here. So we're still going to Peoria, so it can't all be bad, right?
The king of segues.
you know,
He's back.
I does it like I sees it. And I'll be seeing Peoria very soon. But what will we be seeing at Peoria? At the Peoria regionals? Now, obviously, there will be VGC, and obviously, there will be Pokemon Go. I've been here for the phone mashing and the phone bashing. Meanwhile, my phone's crashing at Pokemon Go.
I'm doing it.
Oh, dude, he's training. I know you were competing. Hold up, bro.
Sorry, I won.
Yeah, the Azumarill goes crazy. Yeah, so Peoria Regional's happening. Obviously, the big three of their games will be happening. We don't care about any of that. We, of course, we've been literally talking about trading cards for an entire hour now, so you know what we're about. We'll be mostly probably focusing on the TCG side of things at Peoria. Like until we get bored and just wander around and see who else we can, harangue and into our devious doings. But no, it should be a good time. But I think what we really want to talk about is what we're expecting to see at Peoria. And I don't just mean like the top decks, because I mean we could sit here and like we know the
say Charizard.
Mew VMAX is an incredible deck. Actually, just Mew deck, I guess.
Yeah, just straight up Mew.
Grand's just Charizard versus Mew. It's over.
Are you genome hacking me?
That's not very nice.
It's okay. I have reversal energy, so I'll do it to you next turn as well.
Go, my Mew. Use restart to give me my hand back, and thus let me to play another Mew.
No, you can't do that. I'm playing Miraidon EX.
Yeah, that's cute, buddy.
It's been doing okay.
Honestly, out of all the starter decks, like that's the one that's actually put in work. I feel like, the Xian Pao is like cute, like haha, you got out of day, you got to day 2. That's impressive.
Now I know why it came out with the Tinkaton EX deck.
Oh my.
I
don't know why. I don't even know why. Like they pushed it as a pre-release set, sort of, and then they made an actual deck. I'm like, this card's not good. Who are you fooling? Like, is a Psychic supposed to be like a tell? It's like, oh, it's good. Trust me, it's got Psychic type on it.
It pink, you win.
It good. I love Tinkaton.
Releases Gardevoir.
Yes,
Which it doesn't rotate out V's, so Mew.
Of course, exactly. Which, by the way, Gardevoir also going to be there for sure. I don't think maybe I'm wrong, but actually no, it'll be just as prevalent. We haven't gotten a counter just yet, so it's got another tournament before it's going to be dead in the water, I think.
I don't know. What? Yeah, I don't know. I think because we're not getting a new set. Well, not that we're getting a new set. We're not getting a new competitive set until like the new year. I think these decks are going to be what we're seeing until January. Because what Paradox Rift comes out next month, November.
Yeah.
So,
well, the rule
there's nothing in there that's really like. There's no new deck coming out of there that's like has all their pieces, right?
Not all their, but they're getting the tech. Like Jirachi's going to be in that.
All right, so I guess we won't see Lost, right?
I mean, Lost. Maybe we might see the death of Lost, if not the following tournament after Paradox releases, but the one after that. And the only reason is because not everyone brought in the tech,
which could happen, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, because people are set in their ways. They've already practiced this deck for so long. They're not going to eventually flip the switch. Although I guess it really comes down to what decks actually have room to be modified for one card. Well, I guess you'd want to run multiples because you can. But yeah, it just depends on which decks can make room for Jirachi because being able to beat Lost Box or at least stop the damage rack up, I mean that's huge. That's potentially tournament winning because you're gonna fight Lost Box. It's gonna be there. It's the most popular and frequently used deck throughout the entire tournament. Um, so I honestly I think it'd be a fool to not just pack one, you know.
Yeah. And for
But
those who don't know, Jirachi, which will be coming out in Raging Surf, its ability makes it so your bench Pokemon can't receive any damage counters from effects of attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon. So, Sableye. It might as well just say, Sableye cannot hit your bench.
yeah, which is the big kind of killer in those decks. So I mean, it's very good. It stops that, at least it stunts that engine. I'm not gonna say it completely kills it, but you're building up to Sableye to start taking some kills, which I think is partially why people are kind of transitioning back over to Giratina V as well,
Right.
because
Right.
it doesn't have that limitation. But that version is still slower than original Lost Box. Well, not original, but I guess straight up Lost Box. So yeah, I mean, besides that though, yeah, we'll probably continue the same decks. Um, Although I will say, when is rotation? Because I think Battle Styles is next up on the chopping block,
I don't
and
know the next. I thought the next rotation was
it's early 2024.
spring,
Okay,
right?
yeah, we won't see it till next year actually. So we're still good for the next few tournaments, I believe. I mean, obviously for PR we'll be fine. Whatever the tournament after that, though, I think it's still within 2023, and then the next one will be into 2024. Um, which has some tools that will be like missed. I think Energy Recycler is also on the way out, and a few others. But we're talking about the present right here. Damn it, thinking too far ahead. Um, you know, so let's not focus on like top decks. We already know because most of them are probably going to stay the same for this tournament. Because I don't think 151 brought too much to the table to break in any new stuff. But we have been seeing, at least in our experience on TCG Online, I'm sorry, rest in peace to that, TCG Live. Um, we've seen some stuff, some fun new casual decks. We've been kind of running some casual decks that are pretty good, I'd say. I mean, mine's still in construction hell, but when it pops off, it pops off. People have been talking about obviously the Venomoth deck, um, which I think it's a good fun time, but it is such a slow deck and it's so lame to sit through it. Just to beat it, you know.
And
Uh,
they usually don't print control decks, so
that's true, but like okay, so the deck essentially functions around getting Venom off on the table and then using its first attack, perplexing powder, to do 30 damage, confuse the active Pokemon, and then the opponent cannot use items for that turn. And then what you'll have is Spidops on the bench, or Spidops EX, I guess it's, yeah, Spidops EX on the bench to increase their retreat cost by one energy, so they can't play an energy, or they have to play more than one essentially, and then you just pack a bunch of Crushing Hammers. And then on top of that, you have a Stadium, which increases the cost of their attack to kind of put them into a dead game state, um, stall essentially, and then you'll just do that. And also have some support like Alakazam to move damage around, and then eventually tack down the board to nothing. It can work. However, it works in this meta because there's not a whole lot of uh, I would say damage misplacement around that is not the main attacker. I'd say.
right.
Um, it's like for instance, my Masquerada deck actually takes a pretty big dump on it, to be honest, because most of my attacks are coming from the bench for damage spread. Um, I mean, it's really just beating these. It's beating some big bosses, but it also takes time to build up, and then you also rely on Crushing Hammer coin flips, which for some reason TCG Live loves giving head for that. Yeah, that's what I know what I said. Um,
Um,
pause. but wait, but yeah. So I mean, it's it's a gimmick deck, but people are enjoying it because, like you said, there's not a whole lot of control decks in in TCG. So when we finally get one, people want to try to use it. But you know,
I don't think we're seeing it at.
I think we'll see it
at
in pools. I think we will. It's
well,
influencer. It's influencer influence. Someone's gonna bring it and just run it.
I was gonna say that I think we're gonna see some people experimenting with Alakazam EX and this supposed new Lugia V Star build with Mew EX from 151. Just I'm trying to think about good stuff that came out from 151. There's like Mew EX, Alakazam EX. So I think we'll see
Have
more of that because Lugia is still placing top 16.
Yeah, that's true. Have is that deck also running Mimikyu? 'Cause I've seen the Mimikyu Alakazam combo.
So I haven't seen any successful lists with Alakazam, at least online. Like I watch people stream and they just like lose a couple games because they're not hitting the damage numbers they need from bench.
Right.
But um, yeah, it is interestingly kind of like a control deck with Mimikyu from the builds I've seen. But I don't know if anyone knows how to pilot it correctly yet or has built a good list yet
Yeah. Yeah.
publicly anyway.
True enough. True enough. But you mentioned that Mew. I mean, that's the card that's gonna we're probably gonna see the that's probably gonna be the most popular newly released card. Um, because it's Mew, it's psychic, it's very splashable in the Mew deck. It's very splashable in most decks actually. So it's just going to be prevalent throughout the rest of this tournament probably. And I don't know, man. Being able to draw three cards for free or getting three cards in your hand having three cards in your hand all the time is it is
It's
good.
nice,
It's very nice. We like a draw three because it's so easy now to burn your hand, especially
right?
yeah, especially in these like good decks. It's so easy to burn. So yeah,
Uh,
what's
I was
up?
gonna ask you because you brought up battle styles earlier. Um, do you think Inteleon Urshifu is on its way out, or do you think it's gonna stay relevant until it phases out just due to its matchup against Charizard?
I think it can still function. It can still function in the current meta. Nothing got added that will make it not work. Um, yeah, I think it still has a place until it actually gets phased out to the rotation. The Inteleon VMAX is still really good. It's still a fast deck, so it's not like an S tier deck, but it's still whole. It really depends on your tournament run, right? But like it's still a very good. It still has its uses, and I really don't think it was able to beat Gardevoir and everything in the last couple of tournaments. It's going to be doing the same, so I think it will still hold a spot. Probably not as well. I'm trying to think like what does Mew EX do to kind of mitigate that. And I don't think like being able to draw power doesn't really matter on the opponent's side for you too much. I don't think so anyway. I think it'll hold either way. I think it's going to hold its place where it holds now. It'll be
Okay.
fine. Yeah. Which not bad. You want to make it into your rotation to have a to not just fall out of a utility. Now, if so actually, I gotta read that effect again. Is it only basic Pokemon that Jirachi can prevent damage counters being sent to your bench?
Yeah, only basic Pokemon.
Okay. So even then, like, it might still have a use going into before it gets phased out because it doesn't care about that card, and it can actually function still with the damage spread. Um, Even with that new Jirachi card to kind of stop that. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. I think going into this tournament, like I was really hoping 151 had some like real big drops to kind of change things up a bit, but it's looking like that will not be the case. Because no one's really teching in too much stuff. Even like Like no new big bosses besides obviously are claiming they'll be throwing in that new Charizard. I just don't know if there's any room left in that Charizard deck, man. There's a lot of Charizards.
Well, if we're gonna talk about like these decks people quote unquote are claiming are gonna be good, Wigglytuff EX and Blastoise EX come to mind. That people are saying that these are like playable,
So
which I don't know.
I
I disagree.
I don't know anything about the Blastoise EX. You might have to kind of give me some details on that. But the Wigglytuff EX deck is not good. It is so easy to beat that deck. Um, Especially when the same set it came out with, you got Giovanni's Charisma, which like destroys your combo because like, oh well, you take the energy off, lose 100 HP, and then die most likely because for 250, a lot of things can swing for that pretty easily. And that's really the only thing going for that deck. It's just you have a lot of big boss monsters. You're not hitting very hard. You max do 180, which isn't killing any other big boss monsters. You know, it's two shotting for sure, but 350, you can get two shot at two.
Right.
So I mean, like, and I played against it a couple of times. Yeah, it's just not very good. Like the only, like, it's very shallow too because once you get rid of the Wigglytuffs, that's it. The deck kind of just dies, and it's easy to. There's literally no counterplay with the other stuff. Like Staples doesn't really have any counterplay. You're running a lot of bravery charms to boost your HP up more. Like it's it's not a hard deck to beat. It's very straightforward, and if you just the only way to really lose is if you bricked, and if you're only winning off of bricks, you're not actually playing a good deck. So
Right.
I don't know. I've seen some other supports thrown in. Like I've seen Kangaskhan. I was like, this does nothing. This is a bunch of coin flips, and yeah, I haven't really seen any too many different variations of the deck besides that.
Yeah. So I agree though. Like I don't think it's doing a whole lot. I think, like you said, there's some of the stuff we'll see in pools, but with the Blastoise deck, um, people are basically thinking of playing it like a similar build, if not the same build, of Shin Pao, Baxcalibur, Palkia,
Mm,
Origin Form Palkia deck,
I see.
and they're thinking of just because Blastoise doesn't need Baxcalibur to run or function really, because for its attack, you can discard up to 2 water energies, and it does 140 for each card you discard it. So for essentially 2 water energies, you're doing 240, 280 rather,
Yeah.
like at base. And it's pretty easy to fill your hand with water energies. And he also has the ability Solid Shell, where he takes 30 less damage from attacks. So he has effectively 360 HP. And there's no good electric deck currently. So you're not really hitting him for weakness either. Is kind of the idea. So even if you don't one hit knockout with 280, you have Palkia as a secondary attacker and then Blastoise as your main attacker.
Is it
And most things have to 2 hit knockout you.
is it beating the Miraidon deck?
Well, that's the thing. Like it hasn't been played at a regional yet,
Oh
so
yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking like people are bringing that deck a lot too, and I can just see that being like if you just get a bad bracket, that's what's gonna stop that for sure. Now, as for everything else, like it all sounds good. Three 60, you're surviving. I mean, even the biggest, strongest attacks are doing at max 330, and there's no good damage boost item or tool in the game currently. So at least you're gonna get at least a 280 twice. Um, I don't know. You said Xian Pao. I'm just like, man, like I don't know. Like same with like Wiggles. I don't think that there's just not enough depth to the deck unless but you also mentioned there's room for like tech and everything. So maybe it definitely has a better chance than Wigglytuff, but you know it. I don't know. I see. I don't know why in my head I see these decks. I'm just like, man, this is just so straightforward. Like, surely this is just too straightforward to be anything worthwhile. But I mean, you swing pretty hard, so
I mean 280 for 2 energy.
it's
Pretty
good.
good.
It's
But
pretty good.
I'm not gonna say it's like this is the next best deck. Unless
Yeah.
we're looking for like thumbnail clickbait.
Let's say because
But
Charizard for 2 energy swings and he generates his own energy.
yeah, if you build his damage up by winning,
Yep. Exactly.
not gonna complain about that right now. But
No.
um,
Well, I will
yeah,
ask, like, how much of the Charizard deck do you think we're gonna see after the attempt that because we're getting a new Charizard, you know?
I think we're gonna see a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, because there's so many variants. We've seen Lost Zard, we've seen Arceus Zard.
Arsard.
Yeah, I don't even know what cringe abbreviation people are gonna give that. Arzard.
Arsard.
Um, there's another variant. Um,
uh
well, there's the mono Charizard deck,
yes. I mean that's the
which
one
is
I'm
just
thinking of.
literally all the Charizards.
That's so
Yes,
funny.
that's like 3 variants right there, and they have varying builds as well. Um, there was, and some people were playing Charizard with the Gallades. People were teching into um, the Gardevoir deck.
Yeah.
So, if you want to consider that a variant, I really don't because it's just a tech card, but that could be. I think we're gonna see Charizard. One is popular Pokemon. Two, somewhat versatile. It hits its damage numbers easily, and energy amps by itself. Like we're gonna see some.
I'm just glad I didn't give the new one. I'm just looking at the new ones attacks now. I'm glad I didn't give any tech, but I'm just thinking of essentially with that deck for 2 energy at 330. It's like why you give every Charizard these numbers?
You know how there's like every meta, there's a number that your deck has to hit to be like meta relevant,
Yeah.
or even like have a chance to play. They
Yeah.
always give Charizard like the end of that threshold.
Yeah. Pretty
You're
much.
killing everything with 330.
It's ridiculous. And then I don't know. Like I don't think we're gonna run this version because
Blastoise.
hmm, it appears my solid shell has defeated your explosive vortex. GG's.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be there. It's not gonna win. It just gets beat by too many things. And we saw how the Obsidian Flames version, even though they literally gave that card everything and a gun, it still was not placing first or even kind of close.
And was getting outsped by Gardevoir, which is a winning matchup type wise
Yes,
for it.
exactly. So, it's Charizard. Charizard everywhere. So that's just gonna have to be the case. Um, yeah, I don't think. I guess all that to say is there probably won't be any too big changes in Peoria. We're gonna get kind of a repeat of Pittsburgh with a little bit extra new toys, maybe. So I'm interested to see what Pools brings because 151 did bring a lot of toys that seemed fun to play around. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's no tournament winners for sure, unless someone comes up with something absolutely mind-boggling insane. Which,
Stall deck with 151 Chansey.
dude, if someone pulls out the 151 chance because all their coin flips to win a game, I'm popping off for them, bro. I got my camera directly at them. If I
The
see,
immediate subscribe.
yeah, I was like, who are you? Why don't you have a YouTube channel? Make one right now. I might not have a big audience, but I'm getting them on right because you have talent. There's something here.
Well, okay, I'm not trying to stir the pot for anyone out there going to Peoria, but if you use the Peonia supporter card and like there's like a lot of cards that look at or like can move around prize stuff. If you run like 4 Peonia and like intentionally put your chances back and win the coin flip, first off, degenerate. But this could be teched into a stall deck. And you brought up Venomoth earlier. Just
Oh
saying.
man,
Just saying.
that's a lot of coin flipping. But I guess yeah, there's definitely room with
Any
the
stall
deck.
deck you play, you could you could do this.
That's,
You have to think rounds are only 50 minutes in best of 3 format, so you could
so
win game 1 and stall game 2 and just win the set.
I was thinking that because that's a big complaint right now is that
you only get like 2 games, at least in pools. You make your opponent so mad. I didn't see how that deck is built because technically it's pretty bloated. Um, there's really no room in that deck because you're running so many Venonets and Venomoths and Spite Ops, and you need to hit your headquarters, and you gotta have Manaphy. However useful or useless that is, but I'm sure someone's figured it out. I'm sure someone's thought like this would be a not good deck, but a really funny deck to hit because if I hit it in real life, I'm popping off. Now, I haven't seen too many TCG pop offs, but
You know, it's funny you say that. I was gonna save this for a future episode, so I'm just gonna briefly touch on it. But someone tweeted out that no one in the Pokemon TCG community has a personality, and like, that's why they don't even bother like inviting more people because it's almost like everyone is like going through the motions or like they're at their job when they play because everyone is so stiff and serious all the time.
yeah,
And someone likened it to um that episode of SpongeBob where that guy stands in place as his life just goes on, and then he stands at the window, and his wife's like, "Coming to bed, honey?"
yes,
Yes.
dear. You know, yeah, I well, okay. So I understand that sentiment. I'm always for the more personalities in games. Yeah, I don't have a good. I was gonna say like it's playing the game. It's like it's very like intense in the moment. Like, it's kind of like chess. You know, you're trying to outread your opponent and everything like that. But like other games are like that too. So I don't know why there isn't this. Maybe it's like bad sportsmanship. Maybe someone got in trouble in the past for that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it is kind of odd that there isn't like the characters, you know, or I guess over across the board because I don't know anybody in VGC or Pokemon Go who's like a celebrity or personality I care about. I know they have some who have a lot of views, but I don't think like they're like a real personality. They're just a person. So yeah, I don't know. That is a good point. I don't know. Maybe we need to dive deeper into that and find out the lost personality that got ninja'd away and was banned from the Pokemon Company events forever for the amazing pop offs that they did.
We might even do some street interviews in Peoria to get the public opinion on that.
Yeah, show me your pop off. Go.
Uh, we'll workshop that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's just the event itself. Anything in Peoria itself that you're looking forward to? You can say no. It's okay.
This place this place doesn't exist except having an occasional regional.
But it always has a regional.
Yeah, it's had a regional for like the past like 5 years, I think.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like there might not be a lot, but there's got to be something Pokemon like established because they know they're gonna get the spot every year. You know?
Probably cheap operating costs. What do you mean?
I mean,
It's not Chicago.
yeah, man, yeah, I guess. Well, okay, wait. So I know why Pokemon is doing it, but how is Peoria capitalize on the fact that it gets a regional every year? Because that does draw in a good amount of people, no matter what anyone says. Like that weekend might just be the biggest event that Peoria's seen. You know,
I don't know. Peoria's not. Even when we lived in Illinois, they're not known for.
anything. It's a small. It's not. It's okay. It's a small city. I think that's a fair assessment. It's a small city.
Yeah, yeah, it is a small
But that's
city.
why I see it more as like an opportunity for them to do, as the city to be like, yeah, it's a big Pokemon event weekend, so we have these shops set up, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we'll definitely have to see. Maybe we'll find a really awesome local vendor, or well, I can't even say that because I know for sure Full Grip Games has a booth at Peoria Regionals, and they're from Ohio, and it's a Tricky Jim's shop.
Ah,
So
So I'm sure that'll be crowded with everyone getting their copies of Venom off. You know, I really do blame Tricky Dick. You told me that video and I fought against that deck. I was like, I hate you. This is the most annoying deck. You could have.
nah, you were like, oh, I was just curious. I was not interested. And then you had to fight it.
Yeah, and then I clapped him. And then I clapped him with my Masquerada. Like, yeah, get destroyed. Get completely outclassed by the C tier deck. Get out of here. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm happy I prepared you.
I appreciate that because as soon as I saw, I was like, I gotta kill Venom off. I don't even know what Spot Ops is doing. I gotta kill Venom off.
Spot Ops can do whatever he wants. I'm bossing up the Venom off.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best part. You know how I took out the bosses.
Oh yeah, you did.
But I had charisma to get that energy going. Thank you, Giovanni. Always got something up his sleeves.
I will say last time I gone to a Pokemon event was Pokemon Rocks America in like 2005. So I'm excited, or at the very least curious to see what the like general vibe is like. And I mean, I don't know what Pokemon fans are like in real life anymore, and I hope that I don't just meet a bunch of like investor bros, you know.
That's what okay, but I feel like I think we're okay there. 'Cause I was gonna say like we're gonna be in a spot where there are no new products or sales to be had. It is just actually playing the game. And we all know investor bros and scalpers, you know, they might have some shops and stuff set up, but they most of them don't actually know how to play the game or care about it. And again, it's not like super entertaining to watch in the first place. I totally get it. You got to be kind of in it to like see the appeal for all that stuff. But I think it'll be the community in its truest form. Is that accurate? I feel like it is. That's
Ideally,
yeah.
but yeah, only time will tell, you know.
Only time will tell.
And that's why we're going.
Yep. So hopefully, man, I can't wait to say this, but we hope to see you there. Looks at view count. I would be flabbergasted if we saw you there. But yeah, it'll be a good time. We'll be able to tell you guys all about it when we go. But for now, we're gonna be heading out on our something else entirely because this isn't the show, people. We're yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. That's all I got for you. Now get out.
Yeah. We will see you all when we're back from Peoria.
Yeah. We will see you all then. And until then, yeah, well, you know, this is the Black City Pod. You knew that already. I don't have to tell you. Pod out.